Coming up on 5 Minute News. California hospitals discuss rationing care as virus surges. Navalny releases recording of call to his alleged poisoner. And Congress takes aim at climate change in massive relief bill. It's Tuesday, December 22. I'm Anthony Davis. California's overwhelmed hospitals are setting up makeshift extra beds for coronavirus patients, and a handful of facilities at hard-hit Los Angeles County are drawing up emergency plans in case they have to limit how many people receive life-saving care. The number of people hospitalized across California with confirmed COVID-19 infections is more than double the state's previous peak reached in July, and a state model forecasts the total could hit 75,000 patients by mid-January. Plans for rationing care are not in place yet, but they need to be established because the worst is yet to come, said Los Angeles County's Health Services Director, Dr. Christina Gailey. 4 hospitals run by Los Angeles County are weighing what to do if they cannot treat everyone because of a shortage of beds or staffers. A document recently circulated among doctors at the 4 hospitals proposed that instead of trying to save every life, their goal could shift to saving as many patients as possible, meaning those less likely to survive would not get the same kind of care. Many hospitals in California already have implemented emergency procedures to stretch staff and space. Corona Regional Medical Center, southeast of Los Angeles, has converted an old emergency room to handle nearly double the usual number of ICU patients. It's also using 2 disaster tents to triage ER patients. Overall, the state's ICU capacity was just 2.1% on Sunday. Nurses say the crush of cases means they have less time to spend with patients, many of whom are sicker than they've ever been and are unable to be visited by family. On Monday, President-elect Joe Biden received his first dose of the vaccine on live television as part of a growing effort to convince the American public that the inoculations are safe. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny released a recording of a phone call on Monday he said he made to an alleged state security operative who revealed some details of how the politician was supposedly poisoned and media identified as a member of a team that has reportedly trailed Navalny for years. The man in the recording indicated that he was involved in cleaning up Navalny's clothes so that there wouldn't be any traces after Russian President Vladimir Putin's top critic fell into a coma while on a domestic flight over Siberia. During the recorded call, the man said that if the plane hadn't made an emergency landing, the situation would have turned out differently. The man, who was named in a news report last week as an operative from Russia's FSB domestic security agency, pointed to Navalny's underwear as a place where the substance that poisoned the politician may have been planted. Navalny fell sick during the flight on August 20th in Russia and was flown to Berlin while still in a coma for treatment 2 days later. Labs in Germany, France and Sweden, and tests by the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons established he was exposed to a Soviet-era Novichok nerve agent. Russian authorities have vehemently denied any involvement in the poisoning. The video showed him speaking on the phone with one of the alleged operatives. Bellingcat and other media outlets identified the man as Konstantin Kudryavtsev, a trained chemical weapons specialist. Navalny introduced himself as an aide to Russian Security Council Secretary Nikolai Patrushev and said he urgently needed to debrief the man on what had happened in another Siberian city, Tomsk, where the politician believed he was poisoned. The conversation lasted 45 minutes, Navalny said. The man on the other end of the call indicated that he was involved in the processing of Navalny's clothes, so there wouldn't be any traces. The clothes Navalny was wearing when he was hospitalized in a coma have not been returned to him. When Navalny asked him which item of clothing bore the highest concentration of the toxin, the man said it was the underwear. He suggested that the substance was absorbed quickly, and that was why no traces of it could have been found on the politician's body. The most prominent member of Russia's opposition, Alexei Navalny, campaigned to challenge Vladimir Putin in the 2018 presidential election, but was barred from running. The $900 billion US pandemic relief and spending bill includes billions of dollars to promote clean energy, such as wind and solar, while sharply reducing over time the use of potent coolants in air conditioners and refrigerators that are considered a major driver of global warming. The energy and climate provisions, supported by lawmakers from both parties, were hailed as the most significant climate change law in at least a decade. Republicans and Democrats are working together to protect the environment through innovation, said Senator John Barrasso, chairman of the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee. The bill includes plans to reduce diesel emissions in buses and other vehicles and authorize a 15-year reduction of hydrofluorocarbons, or HFCs, that are used in everything from cars to air conditioners. HFCs are considered a major driver of global warming and are being targeted worldwide. The sprawling legislation also extends tax credits for solar and wind power that are a key part of President-elect Joe Biden's ambitious plan to generate 100% clean electricity by 2035. The bill won praise across the political spectrum, as environmental groups and major business organizations hailed an agreement years in the making. While much more remains to be done to address climate change, the bipartisan agreement ramps up clean energy research and development programs, bolsters energy efficiency, reauthorizes a critical EPA program to reduce diesel pollution, advances a new DOE program to transition to electric school buses, and rebukes Donald Trump's last attempts to slash environmental programs across the board, said Matthew Davis, legislative director of the League of Conservation Voters. Trump, a climate change denier, has imposed hundreds of rollbacks on environmental protections since 2017. You can subscribe to 5-Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5-Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate, and review online at 5minute.news. 5-Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health, and climate, delivering independent, unbiased, and essential world news daily.